Are we live? Are we live? Okay, cool. Let me see. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Okay. All right. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can put this on live. How's it going, everybody? I'm going to go ahead and try to switch this over to what I'm doing here. How's it going, everybody? I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this because there's been some drama that's happening in the art community. And right now, there's a lot of things that are going on that right now the Japanese are getting fed up with the harassment that's been happening to them, especially Japanese artists who post on Twitter are fearing for their lives because certain foreign people like myself have been criticizing their art in a negative way based on race, based on a lot of things. And I would like to show you what is going on. The fact that I had to agree with this because of the fact that these people who go on these sprees, because of course this is the response to what is going on right now, because there's been a few bad eggs in the community that basically who are on Tumblr have been having a habit of going after artists over petty issues, and this is the only way they can do this to stop the harassment from happening to them, and the fact that this is the only way because of the fact that they're getting upset with these Tumblrites attacking them on Twitter over their art. This becomes a problem lately that's been talked about a lot, and I just want to go ahead and talk about this because this is the thing that they have to do in order to basically stop this harassment from happening. Because to warn these people, especially trying to, I know that Lunar Archivist may be a little bit hypercritical about this, but he is right to send out this message, especially translating to the people in Japan, that you may ignore any criticism from these accounts. These should be considered a warning sign that the user you're dealing with is either a person under the age of 18, a person lacking in mental stability, or a person otherwise lacking in mental maturity. All of said users have one goal in common. They're here to push an agenda. They wish to silence you, to suppress your ability to present your artwork, because it does not fit with their ever fluid standards. If you are targeted by an account that meets the preceding criteria, like they're showing the sample, like 14, BLM, ACB, poly, she, her, like they. This is gender foria main, bunkogo, or is bunkogo. Like, that's kind of what they're doing. Report this user for targeted harassment. Ignore, block, mute. If you are targeted by this account that meets the preceding criteria, you may do any you may do any or all of the following. Ignore, block, mute. Because the alternative, you may continue to present your artwork with other platforms with much more understanding of the audience, such as Pivx or Minds. Do not do the following: apologize, issue public apology, delete your posts, edit your artwork for their standards. Any users whose information meets the criteria does not seek to force you to change or remove your artwork, but instead offer helpful criticism and praise, should be treated as you would normally. Now they continue here. They say, what do you do if you are approached negatively about your artwork? Please check the account information about the user who is disparaging and demanding you change or remove your artwork. If the bio on the header image contains any of the following: age information, user representing the number 18 below, following acronyms BLM, ACB, gender pronouns he, she, him, the following emojis, alternative lifestyle choice, poly, pandan, imaginary gender identification, genderqueer, any forms of feminist, any reference to K-pop groups, any reference to mental illness, bipolar, artistic, Asperger's syndrome, etc. An avatar heading the character Pokemon, Super Smash Bros. In My Hero Academia. Like, this is what's going on. And they're continuing. Why are these users behaving this way? Let me go ahead and enlarge this because I can't really see that well. Might as well enlarge the whole thing. You're likely being singled out and potential victim of cancel culture, which is a mob tactic of shaming any form of expression that does not fit the established set of criteria. Does admittedly both Westerners and very socialists as a result of exposure to ongoing propaganda campaigns. Many have said investigators will be young and will not be Japanese and will have no understanding of Japanese culture. And this is true. They have no understanding of Japanese and will not be exposed to the culture norms of mangakai or Japanese social norms. Understand that people do not represent the majority of Western culture. Most of the Western culture considers these people to be immature, obnoxious, and otherwise racist against Japanese creators. These people do not represent the dominating mindsets of Western views or Japanese artwork. They are children who are seeking a purpose and acting as if they have been indoctrinated in their twisted, malformed view of globalization equality. They are not your audience. They are not your authority figures. They do not have any authority to prevent you from displaying your works. They are bullies. They should be ignored, which I do agree. And not give them any, not given the attention they crave. We would like to urge you to keep working, keep presenting your artwork as you would like to present them in the world. Even if you do not believe your artwork is perfect, understand these people who are attacking you are not attacking the merits of your artwork. They are attacking you based on the checklist values that is likely to change tomorrow as it is today. Please continue your hard work. Ignore children who believe they have more power than you actually do. I do agree with that point. I applaud them on this issue. Now, this is something that has to be addressed because this is something, okay, attention Japanese artists. You're currently being or have ever been harassed by multiple accounts on Twitter because of one of your works. We understand the recent days many users on Twitter have decided to target Japanese artists, even artists for several reasons: a character skin tone, a character outfit, bust size, clothing. What is often follows as massive amounts of negative comments urging you to change or remove artists from the platform. You do not. Okay, and here's what the other one says: you have not done anything wrong by posting your artwork. Your creative vision merely attracted the attention of some bad actors on the platform who seek to silence you because your creative vision does not agree with their standards. Please understand, it is not your fault. The problem lies solely on the minds of those users. You have not violated any laws, Twitter TOS, or any unspoken rules. Your freedom of expression is important. We realized that the Japanese culture approaches criticisms and negative feedbacks different from many other nations. But it's important that you understand individual your individual rights as a creator. And this is the reason what's going on. That people are reacting to this and are like, oh no. And they realize this because this was a response to the whole Pokemon drama that happened with an artist who was Japanese based on the skin tone. This is not the first time this happened. I do recall the Steven Universe artist on Tumblr was harassed based on making a certain character white, and this caused the girl to go into suicide. They accused her of being white when it turns out she was Hispanic. And the fact that this was sad that Tumblr would go out of their way to go after people over this. They literally had no control until Tumblr, until it was, from what I heard, Verizon bought out Tumblr. And they removed all the porn off of Tumblr. And the funny thing was, a lot of them moved over to Twitter. That's kind of what happened. And this kind of resulted in a situation to where Tumblr artists, and Tumblr, people decided to move into the whole space of Twitter and basically, yeah, they basically just, are messing with people and also trying to attack people left and right. That it became a problem with Tumblr, kids that were raised on Tumblr that basically, you could tell that they had the he-she profile on them, and that's what happened. Now, I'm not trying to be mean or anything to the Tumblr kids. I understand the Tumblr kids are raised in that type of mindset, but this is the only way to stop the harassment of artists who are online, because a lot of you guys are very toxic, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. A lot of you guys are very abusive towards the Japanese artists who do not understand Western values or Western culture very well. And I do agree. If this is the only way to prevent harassment, that's the only way. Because that's the only way to stop this aggressive nature towards these artists. Because I really do like some of the art. Now, a lot of people were talking about this whole situation, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I could find that art that I found of that Sonic character. And I do have a lot of that art somewhere. Let me go look it up, because I need to go ahead and go to my file. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Here it is. This is what happened. There was a screenshot that was deleted, and they tried. This is the original artist that did this. Now, let me go ahead and see if I can remember. That was the original art. I thought that was really cute, but the artist kind of said, in a rude way, fix your shit. They fixed it. Fixed your shit for you. And they basically blackfaced the character. And the interpretation of that character, and I'm going to have to look it up. Man, this thing's... I think I had the whole thing. I don't know if I screenshot it right. But you get the gist of what happened. Like, the original artist, made it all white-skinned, and the other skin was basically that, which I didn't have a problem with it. I think it was really cute, but this artist right here kind of set the whole thing on fire because that was the last final straw. And you know what happens next? This guy was smart, basically blocking this person, because the fact is, if this turned into a situation to where the artist gets asked online, basically this person had to block this person, because this person could set a mob on her, because that's what's going to happen. Like, they are living in fear of these people attacking them online, because of the fact that if you said that, and I know the person didn't mean to do that, but the problem was that person basically caused a mess online by basically framing it as, oh, yeah, this person should be black. But the problem was, I understand the person didn't mean for that to happen, but it was wrong for you to basically go in, redesign it, and then call it shit. And yeah, that artist should block you. You deserve to be blocked, because you basically went out of your way thinking that you did the right thing, and you basically did the wrong thing and disrespected the artist by saying it's shit. I think the art is kind of cute, but it's sad that this person basically tried to do that. That's what happened. Now, God, I gotta figure out what's going on. Yeah, sad. Twitter can do something about it, but I wonder how they keep this Japanese artist harassment going. I think the problem here is that this is the only way to prevent the harassment is by blocking them, which is the right thing to do, because during Gamergate, that was the only way to prevent harassment, as they call it. If these people on Tumblr are not going to learn to respect the artists, they're going to have to learn the hard way by getting blocked online, because that's the only way to stop the harassment. And it sort of is sad, because that's what's going on. And this is something that has to be addressed, because a lot of people are responding to this, and it's funny. Like, a lot of the stuff that they're saying is like, not all Japanese can read English, which is true, but that's the only way to communicate the issue. And the fact, why does this feel like it was written by right-wing North Americans pretending to be Japanese? Probably because only right-wing North Americans take cancel culture seriously as a thing, and use socialists as a purpose to poison poisoner as the way it does. Now, other people is white supremacists. They don't actually care about about artists or their artwork. Please do not do your own research and come to your own conclusion. And a lot of them are responding, JP artists, please don't listen to this person. They're being very offensive to minorities and underprivileged communities. It's true, most harassers have these bios, but fans who support you have them as well. The reason to create more empathetic and supportive world. Thank you. Yeah, I do agree, but at the same time, I disagree, because they had no empathy for the artist in question that basically got her. But some did attack the artist who recolored the skin, because they were basically criticizing this. Wow, the whole almost seemed legit until the part about how feminism, pronouns, BLM, and autism means they don't have a mental capacity to reporting for hate speech. Many Westerners are becoming anti-Asian, which is kind of true, because I'm anti-China because they are predatory communists who want to dominate and fuck over the world. Taiwan, its own country, deserves freedom. I have much love for Japan. Out of the Asian countries, I'm indifferent towards. All right, let's see here. Probably not. Both Japan and China have a very different histories, and most of the Chinese these days basically becomes Gamergate, but the artist instead. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much Gamergate 2.0, and they're becoming Gamergate. Like, they're basically harassing artists in question. Because the problem is it's just Tumblr. The Tumblr culture is kind of the issue. Because Tumblr has a history of doing this type of stuff to artists online, and they've been known to harass artists. I can tell you from I'll give you guys a history lesson, and of course how 4chan basically fought back on behalf of that artist. Let me go ahead and look up YouTube here, because it's kind of interesting that they did this. I'll give you let me see if I can remember. Let me look for the Steven's Universe fans harass fans. Now let's see here. Let's see if I can remember. Steven's Universe sabotage. This is the video that kind of started all. Let me go ahead and look it up. This is the video that started all. And I'll show you that an interesting educational thing that happened.
The great internet conflict rages on. Social justice is at the height of its power, with considerable amounts of territory under their own control. However, they lack the skills and the strength needed to defeat the Anon kingdoms of the north. Constant raids and attacks have halted their advance, but their hunger is growing every day. The 4chan Alliance during this period begins to hatch various plans in order to liberate their fallen brethren. It's during this time that a small band of heroes decide to go through with a plan of their own. What followed is not only a successful, albeit small mission for 4chan, but an excellent demonstration of Tumblr's identity politics in action. This is the story of the Steven Universe sabotage. First, we must examine what led up to this battle. Tumblr, a collection of trigger warnings, censorship, and identity politics. A genuinely toxic place where users could combat logic and reason through simply declaring someone to be privileged. Or, in some worst cases, they could destroy conversation under the guise that it promotes hate speech, the ill-defined term of which George Orwell is rolling in his grave for. Steven Universe. The show began in November of 2013 on Cartoon Network, and featured the exploits of an obese child with his lesbian alien babysitters, while his dad sat around doing nothing. The show was created by Rebecca Sugar, whose biggest accomplishment, according to Wikipedia, is being the first woman to create a show for Cartoon Network. Hold your applause, I know. The show, unsurprisingly, attracted a huge Tumblr following, not through interesting stories, well-written characters, or dare I say, creativity, but instead because most of the characters were either brown, fat, lesbian, or any combination of the three. Because of this, it received praise, and managed to reach 5 seasons. Also, if you even criticized it, the autistic cries of Tumblrites were there to drown you out. To call Tumblr's obsession with this show toxic is beyond an understatement. It may as well be a religion, and to defy the image of the prophets is to declare yourself a heretic. Which culminated when a user by the name of Zammy almost committed suicide because her art didn't display someone as fat. Yes, this really happened. So this is where 4chan comes in. Their website is pretty much a collection of everyone. Nazis, commies, autists, retards, shitposters, you name it. Its core design allowed users to say whatever the hell they wanted with no fear of being banned, muted, or anything Ellen Pao would do on Reddit. Since ideas here could only survive on their merit, the site naturally shifted to a combination of centrist and right-leaning ideologies. This was opposed to Tumblr, who restricted their speech heavily, resulting in an unsurprising safe space for far leftists. Nothing was too offensive for 4chan, and everything was too offensive for Tumblr. So as you might guess, 4chan had the clear advantage. On the 27th of August, Anon made a post on B. A beautifully simple idea was proposed on the thread. Step 1. Find existing Steven Universe art. It could either be screenshots or fan art. Step 2. Edit this art so that the characters were skinny or had Caucasian features, such as white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, etc. Step 3. Upload all images from the thread onto a shared Tumblr account. Step 4. Sit back and watch Tumblr explode. The rest of the Anons in the thread were totally on board. So that night, this set of heroes ventured out, without any orders from Pol, to infiltrate enemy lines. The page Steven Universe Edits was created, and as planned, B went to work. Some of the edits were fairly decent, while others, could have used a bit of work. This user, Steven Universe Unedits Re-Edits, clearly in on the gag, joined in on the fight and made a particular image that was a nice homage to a certain Beachbody ad that had created a bit of outrage. As you might imagine, Tumblr broke down, almost immediately, and it was glorious.
Yeah, but it gets interesting because you find out what happens next on the person behind it. They reveal the identity of that person. And the funny thing about it is that that person basically tried to point out the issue because a lot of the Tumblrites were kind of abusive and toxic, and it revealed that type of anger that they had. And they haven't learned that lesson last time when it happened. Because that was the same. Right now, this is what's going to happen right now, as you can see. Because that's the only way to stop the hatred, the harassment. I guess the art wars are still going. And yeah, it is going because they went after an artist over skin color the first time. Now they're going after another artist over skin color again, which is kind of sad that they're doing this because that's what's going on. And this is the thing that it is, because I'm just trying to give you guys a history lesson on the whole situation with Steven, and now it's repeating itself against the Japanese. Now, history is repeating itself again with the Japanese involved in this whole situation, and that's why I'm showing this video, because the fact that this is something, I remember that. It was terrifying. Now we're seeing the same thing, but different. Guess the art wars are still going. And yes, it is going to be that way. No wonder my brother told me, if you want to be an artist, try to be low profile as you can. And try not to use Twitter, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I know. It's very difficult these days for artists to actually display their work. And especially on DeviantArt and other places, they are very much avoiding the drama of that place. Like a lot of it right now is that the artist community is very dangerous these days. And I hate to remind everybody about that, because I'm just pointing this out, that they basically did this. And I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this video just to demonstrate the history, and that's the point of it. So let's continue. Here we go with this video. I'm going to go ahead and
After garnering a rather lethal amount of hate, it seemed that the raid couldn't go any further. People were crying, too disturbed to even recover from this unthinkable crime. There's no way Anon could take the whole joke to another level, right? Well, that's exactly what they did. The final post our trusted Anon made was a quote-unquote identity reveal picture. In this post, Anon came out as a black trans woman who simply wanted to contribute to the community. And guess what Tumblr did next? They backtracked hard. With that, Anon closed the page, having the final laugh in this whole battle. It's unknown as to who created this account, but whoever did was an unprecedented level of shitpostery. He led his group of Anons with unrivaled skill, a natural leader in battle, and an even greater one at mental gymnastics. So what are these heroes doing today? Well, a couple of our allies are still on Tumblr. Not as active as they were, but certainly keeping up the good fight. As for this hero, he isn't standing atop a pedestal, nor does he have a plaque or monument. He doesn't have a holiday, nor a city or a museum. His legacy isn't in the history books or taught in any class, because he does not care for these frivolous things, for he is the Anon. Thank you everyone for watching. If you want to see more, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, this is Inspector Magnum signing off.
Sorry about that. I'm just reading this. I'm reading some of the stuff right now. I'm just reading this right now. I forgot that I muted the mic. I apologize for that. Thank you for giving me feedback on this because that's what's going on right now. I'm just reading all this stuff right now because you can see right here. This is what they're saying online. Really, there's such a generalization. I've been living in Japan for 3 years now, and no one I know would say or believe these things. This is solely propaganda to support the right wing level level Japanese. Very similar to Trump supporters. They want foreigners out of Japan. And this is the other one. Laughing out loud, this has nothing to do with IRL Japan XD. You can't say you lived there for 3 years and know everyone's opinion in something. I lived there for 3 years as well, but I don't have a say in it because they're also human beings that have complicated brains. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to respond to that, but thank you for giving me feedback on what happened. And in response, I do read your stuff right now. Now I'm seeing in full action. I felt dread worse. It's a good thing they are fighting back, but it's sad that it's going to be an art war on full circle. Yeah, I do agree with that point. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to respond to that. But here's the thing that I'm going to go ahead and you can see right here. Someone get on the phone to the UN. We got a genocide. Imaginary gender identification, genderqueer. Japan is the most base country in the world. Now, here's a... Okay, look. I get what Cipro is saying, but about the mental illness part is kind of discriminative. Like, I know there are people like that who misuse mental illness labels as an excuse to bully anyone, but not all people with mental illness are like those guys. Honestly, most people with legit mental disabilities never put it in their bios. I have clinical issues, but I'm not pandering them in the bio for attention from random users. Okay. Oh. Okay, so basically an anime fan. An anime fan sexual. I don't know if that's like the sexuality of anime fan black and white. I don't know what that is, but I mean, I agree with not harassing artists, but I don't think it's fair to label whole groups of people as being inherently for censorship. Hey, Japanese artists, watch out for those trans people and people with autism. They're all support censorship and deplatforming. Yeah, it's not your fault. Let me see if my microphone works. It kind of does. I don't know if my microphone's gonna work or not. Let me see if this works. Testing 1 2. There we go. Yeah, I'm just testing out my thing right now. As you can see, this is the Discord thing that I'm making, and that's the problem. If you got anything to say, I'll link my Discord if you guys want to jump in and talk to me about some things. I can listen to what you have to say. You can probably but please don't be a troll. Don't try to troll. Please be honest. Just tell everyone how you feel about this whole situation, and I'll let you guys in. Because I'm not trying to attack anybody or anything. I just want to point out the issue that's going on a neutral basis, because this is what's going on. And let me go ahead and get the Discord here. All right, here we go. Copy. Invite people. There we go. Get you on my Discord here. You're invited to jump in if you wish. I'll link it down on the chat. Let me see here. That's also my Grim fan. Okay, let's see here. Translate. If you want to jump in, I linked it down in the chat so you guys can jump in. And Discord, don't worry. I'm pretty sure it's a temporary link. Hopefully it'll come in for you guys to jump in. If you want to discuss something with me about anything, I'll gladly listen to you guys. Let me see here. Let me see if I can do something here. That's the Discord link if you want to jump in. Let me go ahead and continue on with this whole thing. I'm sorry that my microphone isn't working, but here we go. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I do agree with what you're making here because it's getting to that point where people are getting upset about what's going on, and this is the only way to stop the attacks on the Japanese artists, because it's getting to that breaking point that people are having enough with the drama that's happening on Twitter. And I do agree with that, what you're saying here, because a lot of the negativity that's going on is caused by Tumblr and the fact that they are going out of their way to basically get, pay like satisfaction. It gets to that point. Let's see. Oh yes, Vicky Valkyrie. Let's see here. I really hate when artists get attacked, but they're still adults. Most not safe for creators already are aware of that shitty people exist. The pronouns in the bio stereotype is the same. I'm sure many not safe creators have had some cancel attempts, but also have good interactions with them. Pronouns in the bio, etc., are not all the same. And I kind of agree with her point on this, because the generalization can create a lot of unnecessary hostility and a us versus them mentality. Hey, I'm an autistic non-binary chick who likes Animal Crossing and can assure you I have no intentions of trying to cancel people for drawing Big Booba. Okay, I can't even use this site for Animal Crossing gameplay anymore. Everyone thinks it's political symbol to play Animal Crossings and be gay. My God. God, these people. Yeah, I know. It's sad to see this, because this is the type of thing. Remember, too, most American harassers are Americans and Canadians. They're just jealous, even though Asians are the minority of the minority. We are more successful than the Caucasians. It's to be expected by those BLM ACB to hate us. Some already label Asians as whites for being too successful. They're really bringing up the whole Asian issue right now. Yeah, you could tell that they're trolls. The oxymoron. Wait, non-binary chick, is that a oxymoron statement? It could be a troll. It could be something that some people are like. You could be surprised. Like, a lot of those people in that community are in that community. It could be a troll. I don't know, but I'm just going to continue on with this and just tell you guys what this. Although I agree that that there is an increase of English speakers behaving disrespectfully to JP artist posts, please don't base their behavior entirely as an aspect of their identity that they cannot control. I'm not even gonna, let's see here. Okay, it's not it it's is not things like mental illness, gender, or sexuality controlling their actions. It's individuals themselves making conscious decisions to harass these artists. They need to learn about the kind of etiquette they need to present, not change who they are. That I can agree with. That I can agree with. Doing God's work. Oh, God. I can't imagine being whatever kind of loser that would go through the effort to make something this lame. Laughing out loud. Fair enough. But, okay, let's see. Someone tells you to delete your post, but you can't because they have pronouns in the bio. Just kidding. But wouldn't it be easier just to say like something like, if someone's hatefully demands you take down your art or change it to match their standards, ignore them and block them? That I can agree with. Yeah, it's kind of why most people do that. Jack Dongle should. God, these people are crazy. Married to DJ Yellow from Rhythm Heaven. Love you, baby. That's a meme. Oh, God, that's a meme. Love you, babe. Is a meme. Oh, boy. Even if you receive constructive criticism when you don't ask for it, it can be upsetting. So make sure you put your foot down on how you want people to respond to your art. Take this as criticism, constructive criticism. I'm not asking you to change the post. This is just a suggestion. That's fair. Let's see. Also, my wife was born and raised in Indonesia. She basically sees the Japanese as fucking evil for what they did in her country during World War II. Not saying that all Japanese people are, but these are obvious moral issues to consider, which they will either keep or change. Let's see here. Let's continue. So you got something to say that's not even related to the topic you can chuck in the bin. That's already happening a long time ago. People change. You know who else acts like this? The CCP. The predecessors have done this fair share of past war crimes. Again, 75 years ago, not 200. There are still people alive to participate in it. I miss earlier knots that 4chan days of trolling, but this was calculated, clever, and most of all hilarious. Yeah, it is. Also, those people are not artists who share their art on Twitter. So again, why is this irrelevant? Go to a historical fallacy page of World War II, and maybe, just maybe, people will take you more seriously. Again, good day, sir. That's fair. All right, let's see here. Let's see what this translation says. I gotta look up the translator and see what this person said. Translation. I'll try the Yandex translator, see if that's accurate. I'm Japanese. I'm a Japanese person who draws pictures as a hobby. I'm always very happy with the reaction from people overseas. I want to draw very much with it. That's the translation, and I think that's the interpretation of it. But yeah, thank you. $11. Okay. Yeah. That's the translation from what I understand. Let's see. What else? Let's see. This is good. I have to clarify the meaning of feminist, as in the katana word means gentleman as chivalry, but one of the things current feminists despise. Okay, very important image. You lads now fire at will. Silence Western Twitter. These people are very creative when they do these things. Okay, let's see here. Let's look down a little bit more. Don't look at me. I just have a proto on my profile. Let's see here. He's doing binary code. Oh my god. Binary code. Let me find out what this binary code is. I'm kind of curious what this binary code means. Like he's doing binary code. Like I gotta figure out this binary code stuff. Like this is funny. Let's see. I'm trying to look for the binary code thing. Imagine that's a good one. Okay, because I'm trying to look for the number conversion of it. Like this is a number conversion to the text. I'm trying to look for it. Like this has got to be text to binary. All right, binary to text. Let's see what it has to say, because I'm kind of a bit curious about it. Paste bin binary. Paste. Convert. Hola. That's what it says. Hola. Holy. it's oh, that's funny. Hi. That's what it says. Hi. That's funny. That's funny. That's what it actually translates to is hi. That's a good one. That's that whole binary code said hi. I need to imagine that's a good one. Like, let's see. Don't look at me, guys. I'm just have the proto on my profile pic with this colors to make mad the fan base obsession with gay ships and people saying Midori is bi when it's not the case. Laughing out loud, don't lie. It's a straight pride flag. Yeah, that's that whole super straight thing. I don't agree with the blanket of some people. I also know, and it's unfortunate, vast majority can act out. I'm not arguing fully against it either. I believe it's a big part of it, the maturity and emotional maturity. Those who commit to cancel culture do not stop to think beforehand. Of course, someone who describes the thing in this post hated it. Let's see here. I fucking hate white people who think they are fucking so bomb with this bullshit BS. They think it's cute, but watch, that ass gone to be grass if someone found that pedo shit like pedo shit they be liking. Oh, that's funny. Like, oh god, this is pure hilarity. The level of baseness and the second pick unmatched, bruh. They're literally trying to put that video up there. I don't like the connotation about autism related to trying to police people, but maybe people who outwardly wear political stuff do tend to be more vocal, go about trying to cancel people over stupid or trite things. I guess it's could be worded better. I agree with most of it, but page 2 feels unnecessary. But it's facts, though. Those are the very same people that get angry at skin tone and call Asians cisgendered fascists, whatever that means, having an opinion they don't agree with. Let's see who responds. It's not facts, though. Trans Asian people exist. Pronouns and mental illness aren't a white thing or Westerner thing. BLM has nothing to do with this thing, so being included is completely unnecessary. It's not some SJW, whatever you want to call it. It's the just inherited brats. It's just entitled brats. Okay, that's a fair criticism. I agree with this person's criticisms of this. Entitled brats. That's the best. It's facts. Hughes and Nessie controversy. Hughes and Nessie controversy, many more have been attacked by your time. And why did you have to include trans Asian people exist? Everyone knows they exist. Pronouns and mental illness aren't a white or Western thing, but they're the ones making fuss about it. What happened with Hughes? Drew Pokemon girl in a different skin tone. People were mad over the drama started. That's what I remember. People were way too passionate over all that. Is there an actual Japanese artist who saw this? I'm only seeing English comments. If you think RTs, you can see some smaller Japanese artists retweeting this, which are the ones that need this confirmation the most. I honestly don't expect anyone larger than 10k followers to retweet this because they're basically immune to this bullshit at this point. Hi there. Let me introduce myself. I have ASD. And I'm sexual. I'm a sexual minority. However, because of my attributes, not everyone is a germaphobe who wants to restrict expressions. We want to make any kind of expression or art we want. I generally agree with your opinion. Yeah, because it's the only way to prevent harassment. That's the problem with the Tumblr community, who is now on Twitter because they banned porn on Tumblr. Yes, that's true, and I do agree with you, son, Ian J, because this is something that's been happening lately. And a lot of people are talking about this because this conversation should be addressed. No war. Just give them a week of outrage mob. We'll move on, which I will agree with you on that, because hopefully it will die out and they would understand never to do that again, because they have to learn the hard way. And this is the only way to stop them from hurting or attacking artists in question, because a lot of them don't deserve to be harassed, and this is what's causing the situation with them to basically resort to this, because it's the only way to avoid any Twitter mobs that are possibly going to target these people. And I don't want to see them targeted by the cancel culture mob that basically wants equality and causing this mess with the community. It starts to point out the issue. Because that's the... Okay, Ashawismo. Okay, that's funny. There's really neat part of the post where they say people can have these descriptions and not be what they said they're about them. They should just ignore or block people who harass and have these descriptions. Anime, manga, pop culture influencers come under fire at least once in a month from West, which is true. Because I do recall the mangaka for, let's see, the mangaka for My Hero Academia got attacked online for a character, and I forgot what that character's name was. It was basically a character that they referred to as an experiment. That the Japanese use this term, and I forgot, it's a very vague term, and I couldn't remember the reference to that term that they referred to that Japanese character, and it was used in World War II to refer to Chinese people who were experimented on, and I forgot what it meant. And they tried to harass the My Hero Academia creator over this. And it was really stupid, and it sort of died out. Yeah, because the Westerners attacked it too. And I recall there were some Westerners that attacked that whole issue. I didn't have a problem with it because I understand the intention was to describe what was meant to be what the character represents and what the character was. And they basically tried to cancel the My Hero Academia creator over this. And that's what's going on. All right, look. There were some interesting points raised. I agree with that last picture, the first picture, but singling out people simply for having pronouns or sexual identification and aligning with the BLM movement is incorrect. Age, block them. MAH, block them. One of those does not help the matters that activism LARPers harassing Japanese artists tend to have those in the bio. They gave the stereotype a grain of truth. 2, you must have not made it in the end. But if you manage to completely overlook the section entirely around the middle, any user whose information meets these criteria does not seek to force you to change or remove your artwork, but instead offer helpful criticism or praise. You should be treated as it would be normally. People give no shits about that though. It's literally trying to put a wedge between BLM supporters and trans people. And whose problem is that? The people making the assumption or the people causing the drama to feed the fuel of the fire to give people reasons to make such an assumption? If our wedge is driven between those two groups, that is not our problem. That is theirs. That I can agree with. That is their problem. That's just victim blaming at the point. Not us driving a wedge. It people who makes those assumptions. Okay, that's fair enough argument. There's a lot of these types of people who advocate for some form of ethnic nationalism while using their disorders as cover for distinguishing behavior. I have an autistic spectrum disorder. I advocate for equal rights and responsibility, not woke racism and harassment. Those children doesn't even have the right to register on Twitter in France. I mean, you have to be over 16 to create an account. Huh, I didn't know that. That's what Cuties was. I didn't know that. Wow, that's actually interesting. That's actually interesting to find out. Wow. You have to be 16 in France just that's funny. En pension quand coup falas mal été, pour dire les miens sont écrasés quoi. Like, I really need to learn French. I haven't been learning French in a long time because I found out my sister's learning French, and she actually is a better French speaker than me. I'm terrible at French. The Pride Flag profile pictures trying typing quirks, typing in the lower cases, being into toxic fandoms like Danganronpa are leaked for their carried bio are also really big red flags. Okay, any users whose information meets the criteria does not seek to force you to change or remove artwork. Instead, offer helpful criticism and praise. Or praise should be treated as it normally do other people. Everyone in the comments. While I get the point of this, that there's a lot of attackers who use these labels, you would probably should have the worded some of this a little bit better, claiming genderqueer to be imaginary implication of someone's gender or sexuality may be a sign of mental illness. I know Japan, like other countries, is exactly on top of accepting the LGBTQ culture, but that's the part of why it's important we work to show just how normal those traits are and why we really need to be mindful of how we phrase things. That's fair, but if we have to make an art war in order to stop censorship, it's not an art war. It's more of, I hate to say this, but they're trying to do an art apartheid. That's the thing that's going to happen, to separate the users that are not accepting of the artist's work and basically blocking those people who are basically harassing them, because it's the only way to prevent the harassment, and that's the only way. And I hate to say it, that's the only way. That's kind of what I hate about it. I hate using that word apartheid, like separating the good from the bad type of people who basically, I can understand they want equality, but the way they're approaching the equality thing, it's sort of, it's kind of twisted. Like, they literally are a cult. Like, they have this cult mentality of trying to instead of trying to reason and try to approach it in a nicer way with people, trying to tell them, hey, I don't agree with what you're doing, can you please stop that? And it's like, this is terrible. I don't wish to hurt or harass you or anything like that. I just want to let you know I don't like this. Like, they can just easily say that in a nicer way instead of approaching it in a meaner way. Like, I don't agree with this artwork, but you have every right to post it, but I'm not going to try to cancel you over this. That's something that they should do in a sort of, safer way, not to harm the person, not to harass the person, but to basically say, hey, I don't like this. I don't feel comfortable with this. And that's okay. If you don't feel comfortable with this art, then you don't have to say anything negative to the artist. You could just say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this art, but hey, I think it's really cool. Something like that. But in my opinion on this is what's going on. I'm pro free speech and free art, but I'm like, maybe don't discriminate against groups. Also, what's your socialism gripe? I hate to put the Kafka trap, but it says a lot of those QTRs mocking or otherwise taking offense to the fits of the description of those who avoid that. Then again, Kafka traps and similar dishonest tactics are those people's MOs. Maybe they got a taste of what they put on others, though, through. I gotta figure out what the Katafa traps are. I gotta figure out what that definition is. Like, I don't want to. Like, anyone in the audience know what that term means? Okay, Katafa trap. A sophisticated regular device which any denial by an accused person serves as evidence of guilt. Quotations, Jack and Jill was paranoid and then was told that he was not, and she was not in knowing. Okay, Katafa trap. Okay, that's what the definition means. Is a fallacy where someone denies being X or taking as evidence as a person of X, since someone who's X would deny being X. Yeah, so that's what it means. The Katafa trap. Okay, that it does sound like a really good point here. I usually Katafa trap people with anti-white racism because the people who do this shit are almost always white. They just have to sit there and take it. Otherwise, gets snapped and used against them as evidence as white supremacy. That I can agree with. That's something that needs to be addressed. Okay, let's see. Don't use this mess of white America hating themselves because of their race, because... Okay, I'm Japanese. I'm a Japanese railroad and cute illustrator. Fortunately, I never suffered any such damage. However, I've many cases where advertisements using Japanese anime works were canceled by children's attacks, and apologize if I like to refer to those tweets and fight even if attacked. Well, that's cute. That's actually really cool. Well, that's really good art. I gotta admit that. That's actually... Okay. I like to refer to this tweet and figure the fight if I attacked. Nice. I have a feeling that this will not end well. Look at Tumblr. I just hope that Twitter will not end up with not allowing any sort of Nazi forward artworks on the platform due to SJW outrage. Hirohei, I think it would be great if you could spread awareness of this. Stop fucking mentioning Hirohei. And they really wonder why Japan has closed these types of cultures. And a lot of people weren't told soon enough. Their opinion was not important, and now you have a bunch of toddlers on the street thinking they can change the world with their Twitter thread by using 1,000 pronouns. 10,000 pronouns, sorry. You might be interested in the post. You were talking about this subject a few days ago. Shipper. Okay. Thank you. Hirohei gets him every time. Yeah, he does. He sort of... He did report it, though. He actually did report that in the news. That's the funny thing about it. Let's see here. As a premier, I object to these ableism, sexism, racism, Latinos text, but if they spread to Japanese Twitter, people will follow them without thinking. Few people can understand the context behind it. I don't know what to do. Tell them the truth. I wouldn't feel like you have to do anything. No need to pressure yourself. I just thought it was interesting how so many Americans are hell-bent on bending the Japanese to their will and believing they can. It's borderline racist. Let's see here. Thank you for making this announcement. Hopefully the Japanese creators market will remain strong and resolute. These human parasites destroy the Western movie industry and video game industry and the comic book industry while using minorities and vulnerable groups as a shield. That I can agree with. And they don't care about inclusion. They only want to destroy everything people enjoy, to hold power over others when they are actually pathetic and weak in reality. Japanese creators must not let these evil devils sway their creativity and complaints that are right. Like, this is actually pretty interesting. I read through a lot of the replies. It's interesting to see that some argue against generalization with that, well, technically not all argument. Well, when that argument was said, used it years ago, that very same people didn't listen at all. They said, well, you did do X. You did, don't you? Excuse me. Okay, this is an amazing summary of what to do in case the artist harassment, sometimes criticism is necessary, but never to the point of harassment, death threats, etc. This guide can also be used to anyone who is being targeted by those people in general, but also be careful with. Minds, I'm not sure, but each platform like these have their own share of cons where replacing Twitter felt like Minds, right, which can be worse. Minds is stating to ban anyone who has anime art. Yeah, I've been hearing that about that. Trust me, right-wing nuts are just as bad as, if worse, with those. And it's true that Minds has been banning anime artists from their platform when it comes to sexual content, and added with drawings and receipts for disastrous for artists. Okay, let's see here. Both sides of the coin. Don't like anime. It just happens to one side and louder due to social media. Yeah. To which one must proceed with caution when it comes to sexual content. On Minds, tag content which may contain mature themes and inappropriate tags, specifically not safe for work tag. Also, remember to turn the 18 plus function on particular posts for posting. The criteria must be met if the post contains nothing explicit, contains Automan on there. Let's see here. Perfect. It's just two things to add. Not every time they will be children. Sometimes they will be adults who act like children, but 95% of the time they will be leftist commies. Y'all, this is funny. Okay, a lot of time searching private data. They get your address, your job, your phone. They'll call your job and try to get you fired. It is cancel culture motivated by the leftist agenda that normal Western people hate. I totally support this community that I belong to giving us a bad name. I apologize for the bullshit. You were never ever at fault. And please, to my Japanese friends, keep blessing us with your art whenever it's music, drawings, craft. Yeah, and this person deleted the post. I understand that, but unfortunately, correlations between people who do in fact harass artists and fit their description, it's impossible to ignore what was said. I did clarify not all of them are actually do this, but those who offer constructive criticism are not hostile. You literally said ignore those people who are artistic PR progress based. Yeah, and they're literally, I can understand what's going on here. It's just the wording of it comes off as arrogant, and it kind of tells like, oh, you're telling you're telling them to stop, to ignore the disabled people. They didn't do nothing wrong with the Japanese. Well, I hate to say this. I think we have to point out something right now. Chris Chan. Let's see. Chris Chan. GameStop incident. Yeah, so I would call her Christina Chan. That's what uh I would call her Christina Chan because of what happened. Now, this was a GameStop employee.
Hey, dude.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing okay? I am in the market for a brand new Pokeball Plus.
A brand new Pokeball Plus. Let me see if we have any. Yes, we do.
And I need a pre-owned, non-closing 2DS.
Pre-owned, non-closing 2DS. Let's see if we have any of those. I'm not sure.
That's okay. I'll just take the Pokeball Plus for now.
Alrighty.
And I do have my rewards card. Let me fetch that.
Okie doke.
I guess I'll try another GameStop then.
Did you want to protect the Pokeball in case anything happens
No.
to it? Cool. 52,
But
64.
something is going to happen. I'm going to paint it into a special custom Pokeball I designed called an S-Chew Ball.
An S-Chew ball?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Hmm.
Don't call anybody.
Hmm. Sorry. I remember this incident a while back. Basically, Chris Chan, or I call her Christina Chan, basically attacked the new Sonic character, Sonic Boom, as I recall. And it was over the arms, like the color tone of the arms. And that incident kind of caused a lot of problems. Like, literally, she basically used mace to assault a GameStop employee because the GameStop employee tried to tell her to stop because she was basically destroying a Sonic display. And they tried to tell her to leave, and she did it again. And the final straw was that they had to arrest her. Like, she literally got arrested for this. Yeah, I remember that entire. So that led to that. So I don't think this person understands that could happen. And I hate to say this, but that can lead to that incident with Chris Chan getting upset with Sonic Boom character like last time, and you don't want to see Chris Chan like at a GameStop again trying to assault people with a mace, and you don't want to see him trying to destroy kiosks. Like, I don't think this person understands the situation about autism. Yes, if you read further, you see they are specifically said that those offering constructive criticism, even if they fall under the previous categories, are being treated normally. Howdy, mate. This is well placed and shot. Some of the comments that claims in your post is a lie. Almost everything you mentioned in their bios. You struck a nerve. That is awesome as hell. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. This like let's see. You may want to include Persona and Danganronpa series as well. Any reference to George not found a dream. Any big YouTuber who has a sizable kids following, a potential red flag, they may also be included in the link of the Bibles. Yes. Oh yes, I can imagine what's going to happen next. Let's put it this way. Mother's basement.
It's been a while
Yes.
since I just sat down and ranted.
Nope, not gonna bother. Okay. Anyone, please. I hate to be cruel about this, but I will say this. I will say this. I will say this. Please, Japanese people, block this man. He's the most dangerous man on the internet. His girlfriend. Please, for the love of God, block this man. Because this girl sells nudes on OnlyFans. That's the only way you could stop this man from harassing you. He's very dangerous. This man, his girlfriend sells nudes on the internet. Block this man. They can come up with any excuse. I could come up with any reason or excuse there is that it's a joke. I'm sorry about that. But block this man on the internet, for he is the most dangerous man on the internet. Like, that's literally what's going to happen. Okay, people seem to ignore the part of the most its own thing. Any user with the information that meets the criteria does not seek to force you to change or remove artwork, but instead offer help or criticism and praise. It should be treated as normally. Okay, they're still bringing that up. Now this is what I see. Now this is hilarious. I wonder how social media seems to bring up the worst of people all the time. Imagine how awesome it could be. Okay, this is the part. This is what I go by. There's fan art romanticism this wouldn't bring up. Okay. That's fair. Oh boy, this is like literally what's going on. Saying yikes to another red flag could have been added on the list. Okay, or you gotta be there's a lot of calls worthy of them. Just make sure you leave some crowns and the rest of us king. Beep boop boop. Hello. You're calling the Red Pill Company. Who are you speaking to, please? It's me. Can I get a bass department? Patching you through. Hold the music. Click. Hello, bass department. You're through the bass department. Can we help you? Yeah. You're going to want to see this. That's funny. Jesus. Are you sure this will help? I hope this dies down so we can move on. I just hope so. I doubt, though. It'll probably move on. It's just, they're going to have to learn the hard way. Because this is something that I'm going to have to agree with a lot of people. It's the only way to prevent the harassment by building a wall against them, because they have been doing this for a long while over the years, trying to cancel artists over stupid stuff. They've been doing this on Tumblr. They were doing this now they're doing this on Twitter, and it's getting to the breaking point that enough is enough, and people need to understand boundaries and respect. Because if people are going to continue trying to go down the road of trying to attack people over petty issues like this on the internet, over art, this is something that needs to be addressed. Because if you guys are going to continue to, if people are going to continue to do this type of attacks on artists over over skin tone or anything like that, they need to learn. They have to learn. Let's see here. Very good post. You think you're sharing it. And ignore the nasty replies from angry people whose apples lie looking good for the mirror. Okay. Bless you. Great post. Might need be redefined. Russian poster. Okay, good. I love how the fellow lewd Westerners are just giving more reason to the Japanese to act accordingly into the info grab. I think they should add mostly Americans, since even you have to understand that. I want to go ahead and show you guys something. I know who Lunar Archivist happens to be one of the people involved in this, and that person happens to be from Canada. So this is pretty much. All right, let me go ahead and show you guys a video.
You're having a great day. I gotta be honest, I'm still kind of half asleep, but I'm really eager to get started today. Since I didn't make any videos yesterday, I'm really, like I said, glad to be here. So just kind of getting started. Oh, and for anyone curious, no, I actually didn't end up finishing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yesterday. I almost did. I have a couple episodes left. I was always a fan of Bakura as a kid, even though he barely had screen time. So when I found out that he has his own arc, you can imagine how excited I was, or am. So anyways, let's get to this, though. From Twitter, Shizu, shouts out to Shizu in Bet Delta, says, calm down, sir. It's just a drawing. What we have here, guys, is a Japanese artist, Eda, who was making art of indigenous people. There you go. They go on to say in their apology that they just like the culture, they like the appearance and all that, and they have fun doing the art. But of course, you know, to people on Twitter, what they see is an artist that is a perfect target for bullying and harassment. That's what's going on here. That's what Twitter does. Terrible stuff. And they always do it under the guise of, not always, let me take that back. Sometimes they just overtly bully people. But oftentimes, probably more often than the other, they hide it under the guise of, well, I'm doing the right thing. I'm virtue signaling. I'm standing up for people. No, you're not. You're just a bully. You're a toxic bully. And here's what one such bully says. I saw this person's art. A Japanese person whose entire feed is appropriated art of various indigenous peoples for the first time today, and I'm glad that so many people are criticizing them, as it seems like they've been doing this for a while now. This is not an okay or appropriate way to show appreciation for oppressed cultures, to use them as aesthetics void of context, to build